at bat. Max Duvall winds and delivers the first pitch of his second inning of work. Skied high in the air, right side, foul territory. Falsetti, the catcher, gives chase. He won't make the catch. Jackson Slade, Kelton Caldwell, and Josh Silver all due up in the bottom third of the Rascals lineup. Raskies were able to put together 2 runs on 2 hits and two walks in the first inning against Duval. The 0-1. Big swing and a miss by Slade. He's in an 0-2 hole. Duval looking to settle down after the rocky first. Here's a line drive into left center field, moving over. It will be caught by Shane Brown over in the gap for the first out. Tough second inning for Dane Stone. Gave up a couple of line drives, but neither of them hit all that hard. Both of them sneaking out of the small confines of TRUs, especially the one to right center. A ball that, well, if the wind was blowing out, I probably could have hit out as well. Here's Kelton Caldwell, his 3rd straight start since being signed by the Rascals on Friday. He takes a strike. Caldwell starting right each of the last 2 days, now DHing. He went 0 for 2 yesterday after a 2 for 4 performance in his debut. The 0-1 to the lefty. Low and away. Caldwell hits and bats left-handed. Wears number 19. He's got a beard and some long hair poking out the back of his batting helmet. 1-1, line to right center, moving over. Veras will make the catch on the run. 2 quick outs already for Duval, and this is a pretty good inning following a tough first. Josh Silver digs in. The last Rascal to hit today. Shortstop from the right side of the plate. Duval winds and delivers. Called strike 1. Last night, Silver went 0 for 3, a couple of groundouts and a strikeout. He lines a pitch foul. This season, Silver with a .262 average. No home runs, 6 runs batted in. Duval working on a 1-2-3 inning. Silver trying to prevent that. The 0-2. Lined just past the outstretched mitt of Brandon Tierney into right center field. That's going to roll all the way to the wall as Silver cruises into second base with a 2-out, 2-bagger. So Silver indeed keeps the inning alive, and here comes Curran Radall for the second time. Radall grounded out 1-3. Radall with 29 runs driven in has an opportunity for number 30, trying to break a 2-2 score in the bottom of the second. Righty versus lefty. First pitch is a strike. Radall tried to check his swing, couldn't hold on the fastball above the numbers. Duval back to the stretch. Pitched nearly exclusively from it in the first inning. The 0-1, down and in. Radall probably working on his finest season of his career. The season ended today, be a career high in batting average and on-base percentage. Be the second highest total in RBIs. Takes a pitch below the knees, 2-1. And he's just 5 stolen bases away from matching his career high. Next walk will match the most he's had in one season. And keep in mind, he's tied for the league lead in base hits. He has 79 knocks in 2015. He's ahead of Duvall, 2 balls and 1 strike. Line drive, fair down the right field line, a base hit. It kicks off the wall and away from the right fielder, Hopped. Silver scores. Cruising into second base is Curran Radall with an RBI double. That is RBI number 30 for Curran. That's his 8th double of the season. And that breaks the tie. Rascals back on top, 3-2. Here's Brian Hansen. Hansen drew a walk and scored the first run of the game in the first inning. First pitch. Off-speed pitch for a called strike on the inside corner. Hansen drew a full count before drawing the walk in the dirt. Curran Radall way off a second, a pickoff attempt, not a very good throw to Rosario, who will run it back and hand it to the pitcher Duvall personally. With 2 outs, Radall trying to get the biggest secondary lead as possible from second base so he can score on a base hit. Shouldn't be all that hard for the speedster, though. With 2 outs, he'll be going on contact. And now a balk. So Curran Radall jumping around on second base gets Max Duvall to flinch. He's called for a balk, so Radall gets to advance 90 feet for free. Just an 0-1 count on Hansen. Finally, the second pitch. Strike on the outside corner. 0-2. Duvall still from the stretch. The 0-2. It's a ground ball into right field for a base hit, and Radall scores. It's an RBI single for Hansen. Rascals lead 4-2. That's Brian Hansen's 24th RBI of the year and his 60th base hit. Despite only having played in now 43 games, Hansen's still 4th on the team in base hits, behind just Radall, Ard, and Canella. Radall, I mentioned, leads the league now with 80 knocks. Ard and Canella just a couple ahead of him. Here's Josh Ludy. Ludy struck out in the first inning. Takes a ball down low. Hansen's grounder, similar location of the double for Radall. It was actually between Carcasey, the first baseman, and the foul line. Carcasey, a lefty, had to reach across his body to try to get his mitt on it and couldn't knock it down. Pitch inside to Ludy. He's ahead 2-0. Hansen at first base with 18 steals this year. He was going on the RBI double by Taylor Ard and allowed Hansen to come around and score easily, but he probably would have anyway with his speed. Pitch outside, runs the count to 3-0 on Ludy. Ludy, the team leader in walks with 25. He's able to keep his on-base percentage around .350 this year. Called strike, 3-1. He's on base about 90 points higher than his batting average. That's a pretty good gap. I think a surprising number for Ludy this year is just 4 doubles after raking for 17 in 51 games last season. There goes Hansen on the 3-1, a foul ball. So the count is full. We'll see Hansen going again with 2 outs.
Well, you know, Dustin shows up with quarter past late. Dustin, stay home. Did he show up last night? And he's dead tired. Then he said that if Dustin shows up again last night.
Duvall looks over at Hansen, who won't be held. There he goes. The payoff. Popped up right side. Behind first base, Carcasey, and Tierney will be the second baseman, Brandon Tierney, making the catch to end the inning. But the Rascals recapture the lead with 2 more runs. They're up 4-2 going to the third. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Top of the third inning. And a first pitch ball to Francisco Rosario from Dane Stone. Rascals lead 4-2. They've scored 2 runs in each of their first 2 at-bats. A pair of solo homers in the top of the second have given the Grays 2 runs. Ball misses, so 2-0. Rosario, the 9-hitter and shortstop. He's assumed both of those responsibilities for all 3 games of the series. Stone's 2-0, called strike as Rosario shows bunt, but does not offer. Yesterday, Rosario reached twice, a pair of singles, and he scored once. He is 2 for 8 in the series. 2-0, called strike. Francisco Rosario, 2 home runs, 14 RBIs with a .255 average. And the count runs to 3-2. The payoff pitch is line foul. Rosario leading off the inning. He'll be followed by the top of the lineup, Shane Brown and Brandon Tierney. Sharp ground ball over to shortstop. Josh Silver throws to first, and it's an easy out for the Rascals defense. 1 up, 1 down. Dane Stone has retired the first man of each of the 3 innings that he's pitched today. Here is Shane Brown. Brown 0 for 1 with a strikeout to begin the game. First pitch from Stone is a foul ball behind home plate. Shane Brown batting .300 against the Rascals this year. He has 9 hits in the first 8 games that he had played. 4 doubles, no homers, 2 RBIs. He's also drawn 3 walks and been hit twice. So he's gotten on base quite a few times. A ball wide evens the count. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, bases empty. Top of the third, Rascals up 4-2. Here's a line drive into left field, so Shane Brown continues his success versus the Rascals. A 1-out single. Third hit of the game against Dane Stone. The first 2 solo home runs. Rascals took a 2-0 lead in the bottom of the first. Brian Hansen walked. Taylor Hart hit an RBI double. And then Mark Flores singled him in. Dylan Hoff to solo homer to left. Yomar Veras to solo homer to right. Even the score 2-2, but in the bottom of the second, Rascals scored 2 more RBI hits by Radall and Hansen. First pitch to Tierney, a called strike. Brandon Tierney 0 for 1, a fly out to center field. Pitch down low. Nice stop by Ludi behind the plate, forcing Shane Brown to hold at first. Brown with just 2 steals this season in 4 attempts. Not a great deal of speed for a leadoff man. 1-1 will be delayed as there's another throw over to first. When you think of 1-2 punches at the top of the lineup with great speed, I think 2 teams come to mind. One has to be the Rascals with Curran Radall and Brian Hansen. Pitch above the letters, 2-1. Radall with 19 steals. Leading off for the Rascals nearly every day. Radall with 20, actually, and Hansen with 18. Then also you think of the normal corn belters. Cameron Monger leads the league in stolen bases. Tapper foul off the bat of Tierney. Even count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Monger with 23 steals this year, and then Mark Mikowski with 21. Those 2 guys hit at the top of the normal lineup. Brandon Tierney lines the ball down the left field line. That is a fair ball down into the corner. Brian Hansen's going to point saying that it hit off the wall. And they're not going to rule a ground rule double. Hansen thought that one went over. No, they will. Okay. They're going to rule it a ground rule double. That one went over, knocked out of play, and then came back in. So instead of an RBI double, it'll be a ground rule double, and Shane Brown will be forced to return to third. The Rascals catching a break here. The Grays don't like it, but they'll have to take a run off the board that they thought they had just driven in. Brown to third, Tierney to second. More hits to left field. 3 of the 4 base hits today for the Frontier Grays to left. A solo homer, a single, and a double.
I grant you, it hit something that went over the wall, but what did it hit to come back into the field of play? I have no idea. Because that's why they were still running, because the left fielder should.
Julio Rodriguez at the dish, first pitch, outside, ball 1. Julio Rodriguez flew out to right field in his first at bat. He has two men in scoring position with one out. He lofts one into center field. Curran Radall squares it up. There may be a play at the plate. The throw home for a tagging Shane Brown is late and up the line. It's an RBI sacrifice fly for Julio Rodriguez. And the Rascals now lead by just one, 4-3. We may be getting ourselves caught up in a barn burner here. Back and forth affair early on, at least. Julio Rodriguez's 17th RBI of the season. Brown scores from third. Tierney holds at second base. A little surprised we didn't see him tag up and go to third after that throw went all the way home. Called strike to Scott Carcasey, the first baseman and cleanup hitter. Carcasey 0 for 1, a fly out to right field. The pitch from Dane Stone wide, 1-1. 2 outs in the inning now, tying run at second base. Carcasey's driven in 40 this year. That leads his squad. Righty versus lefty. The pitch to Carcasey, down low. Carcasey hitting .284 against right-handed pitching this year. The only natural lefty in the lineup. Has been abysmal against southpaws, though. Just a .143 batting average. We saw him look uncomfortable against Stephen Fry, the Rascals' lefty specialist, late in the game yesterday, striking out looking. 2-1 is a strike. So the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A man at second base. That's Brandon Tierney. As we see the bullpen kick into action beyond the right center field fence. Looks like it may be Clay Smith out there. Stone set. 2-2. Line drive into center field. Curran Radall barely has to move, takes a few steps in, and makes the catch to end the inning. 1 run does come across on a pair of hits for the Frontier Grays. They trail by just 1. 4-3 the score going to the bottom of the third. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Ard 1 for 1 with an RBI double in the first inning.
And it rolls to the wall.
Ard also came around to score. Second run of the game for the Rascals. Max Duvall's first pitch, a called strike. Duvall already at pitch number 52 through just 2 frames. Rascals done a good job making him work. They've put up a pair of runs in each of their first 2 innings. Now a pitch down low. 4 runs, 5 hits, no errors for the Rascals. 3 runs on 4 hits. No errors committed by the Frontier Grays. Ard picked up RBI number 51 in the first inning. Best in the league. And lines 1 foul. We mentioned the other day just how good Taylor Ard's been against these Grays. He has 4 homers now and 14 RBIs, 3 doubles, 5 walks. He's absolutely mashed Grays pitching in 2015. 1-2, line drive foul. Smith still throwing in the bullpen for the Rascals. Rascals used 3 relievers yesterday, 2 of them going longer than we've ever seen them while with the Rascals. Zach Treese and Baragwetti. Treese going 2 1/3, Baragwetti 1 2/3. Day before that, we saw Will Shearholtz set a career high, a 3-inning performance. And this is a little line drive that short hops Rosario and gets to left field. That was a bit of a strange play. It was in on the hands of Ard. He was able to muscle it out towards third. Rosario charging it, nearly caught it on the fly, tried to backhand it, and it got right by him. A very pretty play by the shortstop. That's going to go as an E6. Rosario's 6th error of the season. Here's a pitch down low in the dirt now, and Ard gets to move up on the wild pitch. So the Grays not doing themselves any favors. An error and a wild pitch. Back-to-back pitches allows Ard to end up at second base. Rosario started now 52 games this season. 6 errors at shortstop. It's a fantastic number. One ball, no strikes. The pitch to Crespo's a called strike. Scott Carcasey at first base and Zach Tanner at third, both drawn in against, trying to guard against the bunt. By the way, to try to compare Rosario's numbers at short, Josh Silver in now 40 games has 5 errors versus 6 in 52. The 1-1. Down low. And 5 errors in 40 games for Silver is a pretty good number too, but that's just how impressive Rosario's been in the field. Hector Crespo drew a walk in the first inning. Went first to third on a hit by Flores, but was stranded on base as Flores was thrown out at second to end the inning. Crespo was on his way home but couldn't score before out number 3. 3-1 now as another pitch misses wide from Duvall. Nothing's come easy for the right-handed starter today. Crespo with a 3-1 count forces the 2 corner infielders to retreat. Don't expect to see him laying down a bunt and such a tasty hitter's count. 3-1. Strike at the knees. The count goes full. I've seen quite a few of these early on for Duvall. It's helped rack up the pitches. I mentioned 51 through the first 2 frames for him. In contrast, Dane Stone 54 through 3 innings. The payoff popped up behind first base. Carcasey, the first baseman, will make the catch just inside the foul line for the first out of the inning. Crespo, unfortunately, cannot move Ard over to third. Mark Flores now to hit. Flores with an RBI single in the first. When he was caught stealing at second, that ended the inning. Flores now with a pair of RBIs in his Rascals tenure. Duvall set at the belt, kicks, delivers. Pitch down low. Falsetti's been working hard behind the plate today. Mentioned his first action of the series after Julio Rodriguez caught game 1 and 2. Rodriguez DHing today, so Falsetti slides in there. Falsetti, 6 foot, 205 pounds, hits right-handed, 24 years old, from Elmwood Park, Illinois. Duvall's 1-0. Called strike on the inside corner. Flores added to the Rascals roster over the All-Star break. He and Mike Parker signed on the same day. Flores really right off the bat getting more playing time than Parker. Parker was released after a short stint in favor of Kelton Caldwell, who's been in the lineup all 3 games of this series. Here's a pitch tattooed to center field, chasing. Bear is back to the wall. It knocks off the fence. Ard will score. It's an RBI double for Mark Flores. He has a pair of runs driven in today, and the Rascals extend their lead to 2 runs. 5-3 is the score in the bottom of the third. The Rascals have put runs on the board in all 3 of the first 3 frames against Max Duvall. Despite the center field fence standing only 382 feet away from home plate, the ball doesn't carry too well to center here at TR Hughes. Flores nearly cleared the fence, though. So that ball knocked off the fence about 3/4 of the way up. Jackson Slade at the dish takes ball 1 inside. Slade 0 for 1 with a fly out to left. The 1-0 to the right fielder. Down low, he lays off. Falsetti smothers the pitch and holds Flores at second. Righty versus righty, just 1 out in the inning. Rascals now up 5-3 in the third. Close scoring affair yesterday, 3-2 the final. The Rascals scoring all 3 of their runs on 1 swing. Pitch down low, 3-0 as Duvall now having some trouble finding the zone. Duvall getting into a ton of 3-ball counts early on against the Rascals. Rascals scored 2 in the first. 2 scored by each team in the second. The Grays and the Rascals each putting up a pair. And each team with 1 run in the third. Here's a bouncer over to the third baseman, Tanner. He throws over to first and gets Slade. Moving up to third was Flores. It's 2 outs in the inning now. And it'll be up to Kelton Caldwell to try to bring in Mark Flores, who stands at third base. Slade 0 for 2. Caldwell does have 2 RBIs already. This being only his 3rd game with the Rascals. He drove in a pair on Friday. Pitch number 1 from Duvall. Below the knees, ball 1. Kelton Parker signed by the Rascals after the Ozarks Pro Baseball League folded. A brand new independent league that just popped up this season in central Missouri. 1-0 down low. It's the 20th pitch of the inning for Max Duvall already at 71 pitches, not even through 3. 2-0 on Caldwell. Kelton lines one into the screen. 2-1. Caldwell attended BYU. He had a funny answer for when I asked him about his beard and his long hair. If you look at his BYU official picture, very clean cut, probably wouldn't recognize him. He said, well, after all those rules were implemented in school, once you get out, it's kind of nice to cut loose a little bit. Pitch sails wide, 3-1. I grew up with no rules, so I don't know what that means. 3-1, 2 outs. Flo at third. The pitch, low and in, ball 4, and Kelton Caldwell will take his base. That's the third walk for Caldwell, or rather for Duvall in today's game. Vinny Gans will stroll out to the mound. No one throwing in the pen for the Frontier Grays, but Gans is going to go out there and try to settle down his starter. Men at the corners with 2 outs for Josh Silver. That's Caldwell's first walk in a Rascals uniform. We haven't seen Caldwell attempt to steal yet. He's at third base. Mark Flores is at third. Caldwell at first. Silver doubled in the second inning. Lined the ball into right center.
Hey, here's a couple of did you know Rascals trivia questions. Who has the most wins in Rascals history?
Steve Brooks.
Most wins in Rascals history. I'll tell you the answer here in a minute. Shortstop number 23, Josh Silver.
Josh Silver at the plate after the meeting. Scored a run after his double in the second. Rascals already up 2 runs in the bottom of the third. An opportunity for some more. Silver lines one foul into the stands. Silver with 9 RBIs this year, still looking for that first home run. He has 5 doubles after his 2-bagger in the second. He takes a pitch low. Already more than an hour into this game, not even through 3 frames. Yesterday we had a pretty speedy affair. Today we get the inverse. 1-1's a called strike at the knees, 1-2. Of course, Duvall approaching 80 pitches in the inning, or rather in the game. 80 pitches in the inning, I assume, would be an all-time record. 80 pitches in the game, that'll slow us down. 8 runs on the board already. 1-2, there goes Caldwell, pitch up high, a pump fake down to second base, now snapped to third, and they catch Flores off the bag. Steve Brook and Flo do not agree with the call, but Flores is picked off of third. That'll go down as his second caught stealing of the day. Headed to the top of the 4th, Rascals lead 5-3. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com.
Stick around. There's more baseball coming up.
What's
He's walked 7 and struck out 7. Smith's first pitch. High fly ball down the left field line. That's hooking, and that'll land on the berm. Smith from Kansas City, attended St. Louis University. SLU. He's 6'2", 190 pounds. Right-hander, is 24 years old. Just turned on July 5th. Breaking ball. So he called strike on the outside corner. He's ahead 0-2. Dylan hopped 1 for 1 today. He had a solo home run to left. It's the first run, the first hit of the game for the Frontier Grays. Here's a foul ball. Count holds. Hopped 2 homers in the series after he went deep on Friday night. Smith winds and delivers the 0-2. Ground ball over to short. Silver scoops. He'll throw to first base. And it's the first out of the inning. First out for Clay Smith. Zach Tanner will hit. Tanner, the third baseman. Righty versus righty, the first pitch. Down low. Called strike at the knees, evens the count 1-1. Rascals entered play today, a game and a half out of first place. 1 game out of second. Pitch in the dirt. Rockford Aviators in first place. The Corn Belters in second. Corn Belters facing the Gateway Grizzlies. That game currently in action, and that's late in the game already. Breaking ball lined into left field. Hanson retreating. He will leap up and make the catch on the track. Hanson misread that one initially, taking a step in. But he makes the catch moving back for the second out. 2 up, 2 down for Smith. He's looked sharp out of the pen so far. So good news of the Gateway Grizzlies leading the Corn Belters. That's 4-2 in the 8th inning. Of course, the Grizzlies were up by 2 runs in yesterday's affair before Corn Belters came back to win by a 4-2 score. Bad news is the Rockford Aviators already beat the Schaumburg Boomers 7-2. The Aviators sweeping the Boomers in Schaumburg. Foul ball off the bat of Yomar Veras. Veras went deep in the second inning. It's a chopper to Silver at short. Throw to first, and it's a 1-2-3 frame for Clay Smith in the top of the 4th. Going to the bottom of the frame, Rascals lead 5-3. You're listening to River City Rascals on TalkSTL.com.
Hey, this is Danny Knob.
5-3 over the Frontier Grays. Max Duvall still in the game for the Grays, making his second start of the season. He had a pretty darn good first start. It was his last time out. Duvall went 6 scoreless. Only allowed 2 hits and no walks, struck out 5. Took a no decision and a 2-1 Windy City win, though. Tough game for the Grays. Hasn't looked quite as hot today. He's given up 5 runs in the first 3 innings. 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third. Here we are in the fourth. Josh Silver at the plate, a called strike. Silver at the dish when the last inning ended. Caldwell broke for second. It was a pump throw down by Falsetti. He then threw to third as Flores was creeping down the line. He was able to pick him off. So 2 times in this game as Mark Flores has been thrown out on the base paths to end an inning. Josh Silver swings and misses. He's in an 0-2 hole. Silver was at the dish when that occurred to end the third. He now loops one into left center field. That one will be caught by Shane Brown, leaving his feet to make that catch. Wasn't fully extended, but had to sort of fall down to make the catch to extend a little further, and he would have been able to on the run.
I'd say that's the Grays rooting section right there.
I'd like to apologize to any listeners for some earlier technical difficulties. Had some trouble. Well, we just had some trouble, but I think we were able to figure it out. Let's cross our fingers that we did. Curran Radall at the dish, takes a ball low. Radall, 1 for 2. A double, an RBI, a run scored. That all came in the 5th. Duvall's pitch, a backdoor breaker, can't quite find the plate. It is 1-1. Duvall's pitch is lined into left field. Shane Brown takes a step back and makes the catch. 2 quick outs for Duvall. Nice start to the 4th after a very rocky first 3 frames. Interesting note is that despite having allowed a run in each of the first 3 innings, that Duvall's gotten an out to start every inning but the 3rd. And in the 3rd inning, an E6 started the frame. So he's been good to start frames and just had difficulty ending them. Breaking ball misses high to Brian Hansen. Hansen has not been retired. He has a walk and an RBI single. Fists one foul. He has a 1-1 count. Of course, Duvall's been helped out by his defense, ending 2 innings by throwing out Mark Flores, once at second, once at third. Flores on the front end of a double steal attempt, and then on the back end, him going to second was just trying to draw a throw so Crespo could try to steal home. Flores not a particularly advanced base stealer, so you can't blame him there. And then it looked like he may have gotten his hand underneath the tag at third, so tough to see that. 1-2 misses low after a foul ball. Or rather 3-1, not 2-2. Pitch to Hansen is a strike at the knees, so his count runs full. Hansen already with a walk today. Duvall trying to go 1-2-3 in the 4th. The payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. And he does complete a perfect inning. First inning in which the Rascals do not score today. Headed to the bottom of the frame. Rascals up 5-3. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. this year. Mike Falsetti digging in against Clay Smith, who's back on the mound for another inning of work. Smith relieving Dane Stone. Stone went 3 innings, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. He'll get a no decision. Mike Falsetti skies a ball foul, strike 1. Falsetti 0 for 1 today after a fly out to right.
I don't know.
Check swing, and Falsetti did not go around. Righty versus righty, the pitch. Fouled away. Count is 1-2 on Falsetti, the catcher. In the first start, Ben Lodge out of the lineup. 1-2 pitch down low. Falsetti hitting 8th. Lodge hit 8th each of the last 2 days. He had 2 hits in the opener, 2 for 4. But an 0 for 4 performance yesterday. And he gets the day off. 2-2, called, strike 3 on the outside corner. It's the first strikeout for Clay Smith. Francisco Rosario digging in. Rosario 0 for 1 with a ground out. First pitch. It's fouled away, strike 1. Smith winds and delivers the 0-1. Down low. Never really completed the scoreboard update, just kind of selfishly only talked about the Aviators and the Corn Belters. So those are the 2 teams that really matter in the standings to the Rascals. Already mentioned the Aviators won 7-2. Grizzlies added an insurance run. They're up 5-2 in the bottom of the 9th over the Corn Belters, so it looks like they're going to pull out a victory. Foul ball off the bat of Rosario. One other final in the league. Traversey Beach Bums topped the Lake Erie Crushers 2-0. 3 other games in action. Thunderbolts and Slammers in the second inning. Windy City leads 5-1. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Rosario goes on strikes. Back-to-back Ks for Clay Smith. He's set down all 5 he's faced since entering in the top of the 4th. Back to the top of the lineup, it's Shane Brown, who's 1 for 2. A strikeout and then a single and a run scored. Finally, Southern Illinois Miners and Florence Freedom scoreless in the second, as are the Washington Wild Things and the Evansville Otters. That game just got underway. First pitch fouled away by Shane Brown. Mentioned how good of a year Brown has had against Rascals pitching. You basically say that the entire Rascals organization, though, has had more success against the Grays pitching. Pitch down low. Rascals seeing 352 entering play today against the Grays. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Clay Smith already struck out the first 2 men of the frame. He's ahead of Shane Brown, 1-2. Smith, not a huge strikeout guy, entered play today with 7 Ks and 7 walks. There's a foul ball into the dugout of the Frontier Grays down the third base line. Smith has looked like a strikeout man today, though. Smith made a start against these Frontier Grays. Got the loss. This pitch just misses low and away as the entire Rascals defense took a few steps towards the dugout. Smith 0-1 against this team. He went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, only 2 earned runs, earned runs, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. Pitch down low, and the count runs full from 0-2, from 1-2 to 3-2. Rascals have a bit of an infield shift against Brown as Hector Crespo's a step towards third base behind the second base bag. Ard guarding the line deep in the hole is the shortstop Silver. Here's a line drive into center field. Doesn't matter what the infield defense was doing. Rascals thought they had strike 3, and instead Brown ends up with a base hit and extends the inning. So here comes Brandon Tierney with 2 outs and a man at first. Tierney 1 for 2 with a double. Righty versus righty, Smith versus Tierney. First pitch, strike. Clay Smith's professional debut was actually against these guys. It came on June 27th. It was a 5-3 Grays win, the only time the Grays have beat the Rascals this season. Smith looks over at first, comes home, just outside. Smith had a rough go of it in that game. Not only did an error hurt him, but he looked like he had a tailor-made double play ball. But Johnny Morales went to second on it on the play, and the Rascals ended up not getting an out. It's a pitch down low. 2-1's the count on Tierney. Tierney's double earlier was his 11th of the season. He now lines one into right center. Going back is Radall. Still going. That's going to get down off the wall. Coming around third base. The relay throw home is not in time. Shane Brown scores. Going into third, sliding safely, is Brandon Tierney. It's going to go down as a double, then advance on the throw. That cuts it down to a 1-run lead for the Rascals, as the Grays will not give up. And the top of the 5th, score is now 5-4.
Number 24, designated hitter Julio Rodriguez.
Tough turn of events for the Rascals after they had 2 outs and no one on against this Frontier lineup. A single by Brown after what looked like a called strike 3 was coming. And then a double brings him home. Tierney advances to third on the throw. He has 2 doubles today. Julio Rodriguez, who has an RBI, takes a ball low. Rodriguez 0 for 1. Also had an RBI sacrifice fly in the third. Takes a breaking ball for a called strike. Counts even. 1-1. Looks like a lefty's throwing in the bullpen for the Frontier Grays. Rascals bullpen currently dormant. The 1-1. Down low. Sun still beating down despite it being about 5:40 Central Time. Smith set, looks over, comes home. Ground ball up the middle, diving stop by Silver, but it gets away from him, and coming home to score is Brandon Tierney, and we are all tied up 5-5 in the 5th inning. That's an infield single. Rodriguez gets his second RBI and his first hit of the day. And we're back where we started. All of this with 2 outs after Clay Smith struck out Mike Falsetti and Francisco Rosario to start the frame. It's the top of the lineup doing the damage. Carcasey skies a ball out to shallow left center field coming in. The catch will not be made. First to third is Rodriguez. Carcasey with a hit. 4 straight 2-out hits for the Grays. And now somebody does start to throw in the bullpen for the Rascals. That was just a high floater out to left center, but as deep as the two Rascals outfielders were playing, they had no chance. Hansen couldn't get it, nor could Radall. Steve Brook making a slow walk out to the mound, trying to buy some time for his righty out there. It's Will Shearholtz throwing. Shearholtz throwing quickly. We saw Shearholtz go 3 innings 2 days ago. It was a career high, and it was 3 perfect innings. 9 up, 9 down, 5 strikeouts. It enabled the Rascals to only use 2 pitchers in that game, the starter Scanio, and then, of course, Shearholtz. And it's actually going to be a pitching change. Steve Brook was able to buy enough time to get his righty Shearholtz ready in right center, and Smith's day is done. He's still responsible for the 2 men on base. It's Rodriguez at third, Carcasey at first. But in comes Will Shearholtz. We'll kick it to a commercial. We'll come back. He'll try to escape the jam in the 5th. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com.
Hey fans, this is Hector Crespo from Miami, Florida. Thanks for listening to Rascals Baseball.
Do you like free stuff? Do you love Rascals Baseball? And are you 50 or over? If you answered yes, then sign up for the Rascals Senior Sluggers Club for free. Club members receive free admission to every Tuesday home game. Not to mention free select beverages and even 10% off at the official Rascals team store. So sign up today at the next Rascals game and enjoy all
Rascals and the Frontier Grays meeting for the final time this series. Rascals 7-1 this year against the Grays, looking to complete their second sweep. Men on the corners with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Julio Rodriguez 90 feet away from home. He represents the go-ahead run. Scott Carcasey's at first. Dylan hopped at the dish, 1 for 2 with a solo homer already. Will Shearholtz enters for the Rascals. 3rd pitcher of the day, 2nd out of the bullpen. Shearholtz this season 3-0 with a 2.35 ERA. It's the best ERA of any Rascal pitcher this season. First pitch is a called strike, and the slider catches the inside corner. This is game number 23 for Shearholtz. He has a pair of saves, 23 innings pitched this year, 18 hits, 9 runs, 6 earned runs surrendered. Just 6 walks compared to 22 Ks. Swing and a miss. He's ahead 0-2 on Hop to the right-hander. We'll see how long Shearholtz is asked to go. Last time out, he went 3 innings, but the 2 times before that, he faced just 1 battery in each of those outings. The 0-2, down and away. Haupt shows some self-control and lays off of that pitch. Will looking to strand a pair here in the 5th and preserve a tie. 1-2 just below the knees. Brahan's had a small zone, but I think has been fairly consistent. Looks like there's some fries covered in powdered sugar starting to float around the press box. Funnel fries is what they're called. Are they dipped in funnel cake batter? Oh, well, I have something new to learn about as this pitch is popped up. Right side, foul territory. It's caught by Mark Flores to end the inning. So Will Shearholtz comes in and gets his out. Dylan Haupt flings his bat and helmet out of frustration. Rascals and Grays now tied 5 apiece after a couple of runs come across in the top of the 5th. Going to the bottom of the frame, you're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. We have the first reliever for the Frontier Grays coming in. It's the left-hander Max Homick, 6'3", 215-pound, 23-year-old from San Diego, California. Homick will face Josh Ludy, Taylor Art, and Hector Crespo. So the lefty not really coming in for matchup purposes, I suppose. Lefty has 5 righties waiting for him, rather 3 righties waiting for him before the lefty Flores will hit. First pitch inside to Ludy, ball 1. Ludy 0 for 2, a strikeout and a pop-out. He now foul tips one back into the mitt. Homick kicks and delivers. Line drive foul. The lefty 0-1 this year with a 3 ERA, although that's through just 2 games. This is his 3rd appearance with the Grays this season. He's pitched 3 innings, given up 4 hits, 3 runs, only 1 earned run, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. One, two, just misses. Homick attended University of San Diego, same school that Zach Komatani went to. I wonder if these 2 men know each other. Komatani a couple years older, though. Pitch inside, nearly hits. Josh Ludy gets out of the way, though. Komatani, 25 years old. Homick, 23. Another foul ball off the bat of Ludy. Holmick was drafted by the Orioles in the 32nd round in 2013 out of San Diego. Played in the Orioles organization in 2013. Missed 2014 due to injury. Came back in 15. Pitched in just 2 games. There's a foul ball. Pitched in 2 games for the Aberdeen Ironbirds. Short season, New York Penn League affiliate of Baltimore. Gave up 1 run in an inning and a third. Got released. Was picked up by the Grays a few days ago. 3-2's the count on Josh Ludy. Payoff pitch. Up and in, ball 4. Josh Ludy's team best 26th walk of the season. He's on for the first time today. He's on in front of Taylor Ard. Ard, who has an RBI double and has scored twice. It's Rascals alumni night today. Handful of former Rascals are in the house, including Michael Connor and Phil Laurent. Seems to be a slight problem with Josh Ludy over there at first base. I'm not sure what it is. Steve Brooks going to come over and talk to him from third base, and out comes Zach Greco. Greco's got a bottle of water in his hand. Maybe wonder if the heat's starting to get to Ludy. Can't blame the guy, especially being a catcher. He's taken probably a harder hit than most of the guys are out there. Squatting with all that gear behind home plate. Having to stay 100% into every single play. He dumps some water over his head after taking a big gulp.
About 4 hits.
Well, Josh Ludy looks like he's all right to stay in the game. Steve Brook heads back to the coach's box at third base. Zach Greco back into the dugout along the first base line.
Thought he had that third out.
Bunch of trivia questions, too, to go along with Rascals alumni night. There are a few good questions on here. Maybe the easiest one would be name all the Rascals who have made it to the majors. There's 4 of them. I guess I'll give you guys a chance to answer these questions. If you want to try to answer them, you can go to Twitter and tweet at me at Al Hernandez262. Pitch down and in to Taylor Ard, ball 1. So if you want to tweet at me your answers, I'll give you a few minutes in between each question. Maybe I'll do 1 question per half inning. That's what we're going to go with. 1-0 to Taylor Ard. Absolutely crushed down the left field line, but well fouled. Ard drove in the first run of the game. An RBI double in the first brought home Brian Hansen. That made it 1-0. Here we stand at a 5-5 game in the bottom of the 5th. About halfway through this game, and it's almost 2 hours through already. This may be the slowest paced game we've played in 2015. Pitch up high makes it 2-1. The pitch up and away. So Ard ahead 3-1. Once again, that question was name all of the Rascals to make it to the Major League Baseball. There are 4 of them. Swing and a miss. Taylor Ard has a full count now, 3-2. We'll see if Josh Ludy is going. There's a ball flared into right field. Coming in and making the catch is Dylan Haupt. That's the first out of the 5th. Ludy retreats to first. He was not going on the play. There's Hector Crespo. Crespo with a walk and a pop out. 1,032 fans have made their way to TRU's ballpark today despite the heat.
Yeah, the one guy got called out. That was a pretty good hit.
Hector Crespo
Second guy he called up.
taking in with Ludi at first base, tie game.
The umpire said strike three.
One out, bottom of the fifth. First pitch from Homick. Backdoor breaking ball called strike one. No one throwing in either bullpen right now.
Get out of here.
Looks like Will Shearholtz will come out for the sixth inning. Here's a called strike on the outside corner. 0-2.
I mean, the umpires are the only people out here who are on the field for the entire game. They don't get to sit down.
The 0-2 pitch down low. Rascals hoping to pick up some ground on the normal Corn Belters. In fact, if they win today, they'll be tied for second as Crespo lines a ball off his foot and takes a tumble. That has to hurt. He'll try to walk it off. Rascals entered play. 1 game back of the Corn Belters. A game and a half back of the Aviators. Rockford's already won, so the Rascals have to win to keep pace. Crespo giving it an extra few seconds. Try to gather himself. He has a pad on his front foot. That left foot protected the inside. Shin, ankle, and foot. The pad, but doesn't cover all that much. Good news, Rascals fans. The normal Corn Belters have officially lost 5-2 the score. 1-2 pitch is a called strike three at the knees. Crespo just stands there. And now he'll slowly exit the batter's box.
You better be swinging.
First strikeout for Homick. Second out of the inning. So the Rascals win. They will indeed tie the Corn Belters for second. If the Grays come out on top, then the Rascals at least won't lose any ground for second place. Here comes Mark Flores. Flores, 2 for 2, a couple of RBIs, a single and a double. But he's also been thrown out on the base paths twice to end the inning. Pulls first pitch, he says foul. Strike one. Rascals would love for Flores to pick up his third RBI of the day. It would have to be on an extra base hit, though. Ludi's still at first after the leadoff walk. Here's a foul ball into the backstop. Lefty versus lefty. Flores versus Homick. The 0-2 goes to first base on a pickoff attempt. The first baseman, Carcasey, wasn't ready for it, and it deflects off his mitt. Ludi goes to second base. That'll go down as an error on the first baseman. Ludi did have a nice lead over there. Carcasey started to creep in from the bag a little bit, not sure why. Homick's throw went over there and deflected off his mitt. And Ludi was able to go to second on the fielding error. Strange one there. Count still 0-2. Now a bouncer over to the first baseman Carcasey, who takes it and steps on first to end the inning. A walk and an error, but no runs for the Rascals in the bottom of the fifth. Headed to the sixth, tied 5-5. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. play first base. That'll force Mark Flores out to right field, and then Jackson Slade, the right fielder, moves behind the plate. So once again, Komatani comes in. He'll bat third. He's at first. Flores from first to right, and Slade from right to catcher. Josh Ludy's day is done. He finishes up 0 for 2 with a walk. He'll get a much-deserved rest, and of course 2 days off on Monday and Tuesday before the Rascals head to the Pittsburgh area to take on the Washington Wild Things. Will Shearholtz stays in the game. He faced Dylan Haupt in the 5th and got him to pop out to end the inning with men on the corners and 2 outs. Here's Zach Tanner now with a fresh frame. Tanner 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts to left. Shearholtz winds and delivers the first pitch. Swung on and driven into left field. Coming in, it's Hansen, out number 1. Shearholtz has been good against the Frontier Grays. Of course, he had those 3 perfect innings on Friday. I mentioned he tossed 3 innings after he faced only 1 batter in each of his previous 2 appearances. He got a strikeout and a pop-out facing just 2 in back-to-back games, and then he pitches 3 innings, a career high on Friday. First pitch to Yomar Veras is a fly ball, but it will reach the stands, strike 1. This is Shearholtz's 4th appearance against the Grays. He entered with a 2.7 ERA. No record. Did have 1 save. Of course, that was Friday. Foul ball makes it 0-2. In 6 2/3 innings against the Grays this season, he given up just 2 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. Both of those runs coming on a home run. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He absolutely fools Veras, who chases a slider way outside. 2 up, 2 down, a couple of quick outs for Shearholtz, including a 3-pitch K. Here's Mike Falsetti. And we could use a couple innings like this after it took 2 hours to get through 5. Shearholtz's first pitch to Falsetti outside. Falsetti 0 for 2. A flyout and a strikeout looking. Strikeout looking came against Clay Smith, the 1-0. That one just misses. By the way, the answer to that trivia question was Joe Thatcher, Brandon Kniff, Justin Christensen, and Josh Kinney. Those are the 4 former Rascals to pitch in the major leagues, or rather play in the major leagues. Called strike. Shearholtz looking for a 1-2-3 frame. He's a bouncer right back to him on the mound. He makes the snag, throws over to first, and retires Falsetti. He indeed sets down all 3 in the frame. He's set down all 4 he's faced in today's game. Headed to the bottom of the 6th, tie game 5-5. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Jackson Slade leads off the bottom of the 6th for the Rascals. Slade, who just moved from right field to catcher in the top half of this frame, as Josh Luty leaves the game, probably due to heat exhaustion. That's just speculation, though. First pitch to Slade, wide, ball 1. Max Homick in the game for inning number 2. This one comes inside and nearly gets a piece of Slade. He moves out of the way. 2-0. Lined into right field, hooking towards the line. Long run, and Hoft won't make the catch as it bounces off the fence. Slade motoring into second with a pop-up slide. He's safe with a lead-off double. That's a good way to kick off an inning, especially in a tie game. Slade now with 9 doubles this season. That wasn't played very well by Dylan Hoft in right field. I think that showed his inexperience. Hoft has mostly DH'd against the Rascals this year. We've seen Yomar Veras in right. So a hard hit ball, but probably catchable in right field. Hoft looked a bit uncomfortable with the wall, which lies just 299 feet away from home plate. Caldwell at the dish, squaring up, pulls back, ball 1. Kelton Caldwell 0 for 1. He walked in the 3rd. His first walk with the Rascals. Jackson Slade representing the go-ahead run at second base with nobody out. Caldwell hoping to advance him. He pulls back, swings away, chases a fastball high. Trying to draw the defense in and then slap a ball by them. Not a bad idea, as Carcasi drawn way in at first. Tanner at third base. Here's a little looper into right center field. It'll get down for a base hit. Slade will be held at third. Very conservative call by Steve Brook. That ball hit the soggy outfield grass and just died right there. Dylan Hoft didn't get to that ball for a while. Steve Brook, with nobody out, though, didn't want to risk getting Slade thrown out at home. He'll settle for men at the corners with no outs. Caldwell, a great piece of hitting. He did exactly what we thought. He showed bunt squaring up and then pulled back again and was able to slap it over the drawn-in infield. Hoft now with 3 hits, rather. Caldwell now with 3 hits. Draws a mound visit from Billy Brick Jr., the pitching coach. Billy Brick stands out in the minds of a lot of Rascals fans for one thing and one thing only. That's tossing a bucket of balls onto the field after being ejected early in the season. One of the most entertaining moments of the year for the Rascals. This is a pretty good picture floating around, too, taken by Ricky Rick, team photographer of Billy Brick, arguing with the umpire, holding up his hands, trying to show how big the strike zone is. It was about the size of a baseball, according to Billy Brick. Men at the corners, nobody out for the Rascals, bottom of the 6th. Josh Silver at the dish, takes a ball outside. Jackson Slade at third, he led off the inning with a double. Kelton Caldwell at first, he just singled. Scott Carcasi at first holds Caldwell. At third, Tanner drawn in a few steps. Up the middle, double play depth. Josh Silver is 1 for 2. Had a double and a fly out. Also scored a run. 9 RBIs this season. Just looking for a fly ball. In fact, it looks like the Grays will trade a run for 2 outs. So if he hits a ball up the middle, it should score Slade as well. The 1-0. Outside. Tie game 5-5 in the bottom of the 6th. Homick set. 2-0. Called strike. Got another Rascals alumni trivia for you. Who has the most wins in River City Rascals history? That's for a pitcher, of course. Two balls, one strike. The pitch to Silver. Inside, 3-1. One walk issued by Homick already. That came in the 5th. A leadoff walk to Josh Ludy, who's no longer in the game. 3-1 to Silver. Down low, ball 4. Josh Silver doesn't get too over anxious at the plate. You'll see guys often with a man at third and less than 2 outs just kind of go up hacking, looking for anything to put the bat on. But Silver stays patient and is content drawing the base on balls. 10th walk of the year for Silver. He's only struck out 15 times. That's helped him reach a on-base percentage over 360 this season. Bases are loaded. Nobody out for Curran Radall. Corners drawn in. Double play depth up the middle still. Radall already with an RBI today, an RBI double and a run scored in the 2nd. 30 RBIs this season. He takes a strike on the inside corner. Yesterday we saw the Rascals load the bases with nobody out in the 1st. They couldn't score, though, thanks largely in part to a 5-2-3 double play turned by the Grays defense. Radall very fast on the base paths. It would be tough to double him up. The 0-1. Line drive back into the mitt of the pitcher. It's caught by Homick. He tries to double up Silver at first. Doesn't get him, and that's a mistake by Scott Carcasey. That's Carcasey's fault. I don't know why he didn't have his foot on the bag. If he did, they would have gotten the force. Instead, Carcasey tried to slap a tag on Silver, and he gets back safely. A line drive off the bat of Curran Radall. Great reflexes by Homick on the mound to make the catch for out number 1. And now that means a ground ball for the Grays could get them out of it. It's a huge out number 1. Can't hit it much harder than Curran Radall just did, but it results in an out. Vinny Gans makes the walk to the mound. He's going to make a pitching change. We'll let you know who it is coming out of the bullpen after this. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com.
Hey fans, this is Derek Cape from Columbia, Kentucky. Stick around, there's more baseball coming up.
The Rascals are the best destination for your group this summer. You can relax at a game with family, coworkers, or friends for an affordable price. Our group packages include tickets and catering. Some of our locations include a private or semi-private area for your group. Call 636-247-2287 and ask for a group sales representative for more information.
You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Powered by CPR Cell Phone Repair with 3 locations in Wentzville, Chesterfield, and Brentwood, and online at FixItCPR.com. CPR Cell Phone Repair. We save your mobile life.
Hi, this is Curran Radall from Moses Lake, Washington. You can catch all 96 games this season right here on TalkSTL.com.
Bottom of the 6th inning, tied 5-5. Bases loaded, 1 out. Curran Radall had the bases loaded, nobody out, and hit a laser right back into the mitt of the pitcher, Max Homick. Homick's day's over, though, as he's pulled from the game following. Nick McBride enters. 1 out, bases loaded, and it's Brian Hansen's turn to try to break the tie. First pitch, ground ball into right field, a base hit. 1 run scores. That'll be all for the Rascals. Steve Brooks throws up the stop sign, and good decision because Dylan Hawk comes up with a good throw home. The Rascals take a 6-5 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning on the bat of Brian Hansen. Hansen's second hit of the game, third time on base. He now has 2 RBIs in today's game. He has driven in 25 runs this season. Here comes Zach Komatani in his first at-bat of the game. Comey entered in the top half of the frame at first base. He's batting in the 3-hole after replacing Josh Ludy. He takes a pitch inside. Caldwell at third base now, Silver at second, and Hansen at first. Same defensive positioning with the corners drawn in. Rascals now lead 6-5. That pitch will be charged to Max Homick. McBride misses with a breaking ball, 2-0. The 2-0. Line foul. Zach Komatani with 3 home runs, 20 RBIs, and a .236 average. Haven't seen him since the Schaumburg series. He left that game prematurely. In fact, he left back-to-back games prematurely. Haven't seen him since. The 2-1, a strike at the knees, 2-2. Komatani looking to at least drive this ball to the outfield and get the Rascals one more run. Nick McBride looking to induce a ground ball and turn 2. The 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He gets Komatani, and that's the second out. That'll work for McBride. Not quite out of it yet because here comes Taylor Ard, Frontier League leader in home runs and RBIs. Ard already with an RBI double and 2 runs scored today. Nick McBride entered this game 2-2 record, 3.26 ERA. This is game number 18 for him. Called strike to Taylor Ard from the 6'4", 180-pounder. Righty versus righty. The 0-1, driven into right center field. Hops comes in. He will make the catch to end the inning. So the Rascals load the bases with nobody out. They can only score 1 run, but they do recapture the lead. They're up 6-5 going to the 7th. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Top of the 7th inning, Rascals now lead 6-5. Brian Hansen coming up with an RBI single in the top half of the frame to give the Rascals the lead. Raskies led for a good chunk of the game until the top of the 5th, in which the Grays tied it up with 2 runs. Ball outside to Francisco Rosario. Will Shearholtz delivers a strike on the outside corner. 1-1. Rosario showed bunt, pulls back. Seen him do that multiple times. He hasn't tried to lay down a bunt yet in this series. It's a chopper, right side charging in. It is Crespo who will field and throw out the shortstop. 5 up, 5 down for Will Shearholtz out of the pen. And Shearholtz has been unbelievably good. Over his last 4 performances now, he has set down 16 in a row. He got the only man out he faced in 2 straight appearances, then went 9 for 9 in a 3-inning appearance on a Friday, and now 5 for 5 so far today. Called strike to Shane Brown. This one just misses. Brown batting with 1 out and the bases empty. He has a hit in each of his last 2 at-bats, and he scored 2 of the 5 runs for the Grays. Big slider just misses. 2-1. Steve Brook has the most wins all time in Rascals history, by the way. Steve Brook, of course, the manager of the Rascals, pitched 4 seasons. This just misses. 3-1. Pitch inside, ball 4. So that breaks up a string of 16 straight set down by Shearholtz. Although it may be even more if you look back. I would have to do a little bit more research and look at his outing before those back-to-back one hitter outings against Schaumburg. Either way, Brown's on for the 3rd time. He represents the tying run. First pitch to Brandon Tierney inside. Tierney, 2 doubles, an RBI, and a run scored. Shearholtz set. 1 up. Called strike with a 2-seamer. Stephen Fry starts to throw in the bullpen for the Rascals. Fry getting up for Scott Carcasey, I suppose. Here's a line drive into left field, a base hit. That gets down. It's cut off by Brian Hansen. First to third on the play. Now going into second safely is Brandon Tierney. Strong throw by Hansen. Couldn't quite get him. Tierney with a double, his 3rd double of the game. Tying run at third base. Go-ahead run at second with just 1 out. And here's Julio Rodriguez. Yesterday, Stephen Fry faced Scott Carcasey, the only batter he faced, and he struck him out. Shearholtz comes set against Rodriguez. First pitch, shallow fly ball, center field going out to Silver, coming in is Radall. Nobody will make the catch. It's a bloop single. Shane Brown scores, and we are tied. 6-6 is the score. That one barely got down between Radall and Silver. Perfectly placed blooper. Carcasey coming up, and out comes Steve Brook. He'll go to the bullpen, and Stephen Fry to face Scott Carcasey. Shearholtz shouting into his mitt, frustrated with himself. But boy, did he pitch well. Set down the first 5 he faced. But then a walk, a double, and a bloop single is his undoing. And we are tied 6-6 in the top of the 7th inning. We'll go to a commercial. When we come back, it'll be a lefty-on-lefty matchup, Fry against Carcasey. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Game for the Rascals. Fry becoming the left-handed specialist for the Raskies, often referred to as a loogie. Left-handed one-out guy. Fry was used mostly in that role in 2014 while with the normal Corn Belters, going 1-2 with a 4.42 ERA in 19 games last year, evidenced by the 18 1/3 innings in 19 games. Started this year with the Corn Belters again, went 1-2 with a 5.52 ERA. He made 2 starts, including one against the Rascals. Didn't find much success in that role. But once he came over to the Raskies, boy, has he been good, reverting back to a familiar role in the Rascals bullpen. In 5 games for the Rascals, he has only gotten 5 outs, an inning and 2/3. All 5 of those outs against lefties, 4 of them strikeouts, including last night. He faced Scott Carcasey, the man at the dish, and struck him out. Men at the corners, 1 out, top of the 7th. Tie game 6-6, first pitch low and away. Carcasey 1 for 3. Stephen Fry looking for a strikeout. Ground ball would be enough for the Rascals to turn 2 on as well. That would get them out of the inning. This is a foul ball, 1-1. Will Shearholtz recorded the final out of the 5th, worked a 1-2-3 6th, got the first out in the 7th, but then walked Shane Brown. Brandon Tierney doubled to left, putting men at 2nd and 3rd, and Julio Rodriguez blooped a single to center, bringing in Brown, putting Tierney at 3rd, putting Rodriguez at 1st. The 1-1 with 1 out, outside, 2-1. So the game now tied 6-6 after the Rascals entered the frame up 6-5. Carcasey trying to drive in the go-ahead run, represented by Brandon Tierney just 90 feet away. Fry's 2-1. A foul ball, 2-2. Fry has given up 2 hits and a walk this year. 1 hit to a righty, 1 hit to a lefty. He walked a lefty as well. He has not given up a run in his first 5 performances. The 2-2 to Carcasey. Little dribbler left side. Ard's going to try to turn 2. Goes second for 1. The relay throw. Not in time. It's a fielder's choice, and the go-ahead run comes in to score. It's Brandon Tierney crossing home plate. That run charged to Will Shearholtz, an inherited run surrendered by Stephen Fry. He does get one out. Julio Rodriguez out at second base. He's replaced at first by Carcasi. Tierney scores for the second time. It's an RBI for Carcasi. And the Rascals now trail 7-6 in the top of the seventh. And it's going to be Zeb Snead coming out of the pen, replacing Stephen Fry. Fry does come in and get an out, but he can't strand the runner. We're going to go to a commercial. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com.
Hey fans, this is Dane Stone from Miami, Florida. Stick around, there's more baseball coming up.
The Frontier League has its own weekly radio program, The Infinite Frontier, back for a second season. Lake Erie voice Andy Bull Barch and Schaumburg voice Tim Calderwell discuss everything Frontier League with guests from around the league and more. The Infinite Frontier is available for download weekly on iTunes and is hosted on SPNT TV. Find the show on Twitter at INF Frontier and like us on Facebook to find all the episodes.
Hey fans, this is Taylor Ard from
weaving in and out of traffic, and speeding. That'll get you noticed and ticketed. Drive sober, buckle up, slow down. We want you to arrive alive. A message from the Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety. Visit SaveMOLives.com.
You don't even need $1 to join our Little Rascals. The River City Little Rascals Kids Club is completely free. Kids aged 3 to 12 can join and receive free admission and snow cones for every Sunday home game. You also receive 10% off a Rascals birthday package. Save that $1 and come join the Little Rascals today.
Now back to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Powered by CPR Cell Phone Repair with 3 locations in Wentzville, Chesterfield, and Brentwood, and online at FixItCPR.com. CPR Cell Phone Repair. We save your mobile life.
Hey, this is Zeb Snead from Twin Falls, Idaho. Thanks for tuning in to Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Let's get back to the game.
Zeb Snead first pitch to Dylan Haupt, a called strike, 0-1. Snead enters the game at the top of the seventh. Rascals now trail 7-6 after surrendering a pair of runs in this frame. Third pitcher of the inning for the Rascals, a pitch down low. They're going to say that Haupt was able to check his swing. Dylan Haupt is 1 for 3 today with a solo home run in his first at-bat. That came in the second. In 4 at-bats now, Haupt has faced 4 different pitchers. Dane Stone, then Clay Smith, then Will Shearholtz, and now Zeb Snead. Foul ball away. 1-2. Snead this season appearing in his 27th game of the year. He's 3-2 with a 4.33 ERA. He enters with Scott Carcasi at first base and 2 outs. Ready versus ready. The pitch to Haupt is swung on and missed, strike 3. That ends the inning. Slade will slap a tag on him to complete the out. Snead comes in and punches out the first man he faces and escapes the frame. Going to the bottom of the 7th inning. Time to stretch here at TRU's ballpark. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Grays. Rascals spent a good chunk of yesterday's game, the first 5 innings trailing. 2-0 was the score until the bottom of the 6th, a 3-run homer hit by Taylor Ard made it 3-2, and that was the final in yesterday's game. Rascals took Friday's affair. That was a 7-4 final. Hector Crespo, Mark Flores, Jackson Slade all due up in the 7th. Starting with Crespo, who's over 2, but he did walk. First pitch to Crespo, line foul. The pitch, up and in. Rascals loaded the bases in the 6th inning with nobody out, but could only score 1 run. You hope that that does not come back to haunt them. They do have the 7th, 8th, and 9th to try to make up just the 1-run deficit. Pitch down low. The pitch, line foul. Got some more Rascals trivia. Who has the most runs scored in Rascals history? I'll give a little hint. He was at the ballpark today. He played from 2003 to 2005, and he scored 182 runs in his 3 seasons. This is a line drive into right field. Going back, Haupt will make the catch on the track. It's the first out of the bottom of the 7th, and it's Mark Flores' turn. Flo, 2 for 3. An RBI single and an RBI double. He's also thrown out at second and at third to end innings. Called strike to begin the inning, or rather begin the at-bat. 7 runs on 10 hits and 2 errors committed by the visiting Grays. Rascals have scored 6 runs on 9 hits, have not committed an error. Swing and a miss. Flores down 0-2. The 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Flores chases low and away. And McBride has 2 quick outs in the bottom of the 7th. Trying to keep the Rascals' bats quiet after his team gave him some support. McBride is currently lined up for the victory. Answer to the Answer to the trivia question, by the way, was Michael Connor. Michael Connor scored the most runs in Raskie's history. He's in the house today. Ball outside to Jackson Slade. Slade is 1 for 3 at a double and a run scored. He scored the 6th run of the game for the Rascals in the past frame. It was the go-ahead run at the time. Rascals surrendered 2 runs since, though. Called strike, 1-1 on the catcher. Slade starting right, moved behind the plate in the top of the 6th. Chases a pitch high, 1-2. McBride peers in, comes set. The 1-2. Called strike 3, and that ends the inning. It's a 1-2-3 inning for McBride. He strikes out a pair. The Rascals still trail. 7-6 is the score, headed to the bottom, or rather the top of the 8th inning. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com.
Hey fans, this is Hector Crespo from Miami, Florida. Thanks for listening to Rascals Baseball.
1-run deficit for the Rascals offense. First pitch followed off the mask of Jackson Slade, strike one. Snead entered in the 7th with 2 outs and struck out Dylan Hopp to end the frame.
Even so, sometimes you get whacked like that.
Rascals starter Dane Stone went just 3 innings, gave up 3 runs on 4 hits, didn't walk a batter, struck out 1. Line drive back into the screen, 0-2. Clay Smith, first man out of the pen for the Rascals. He went an inning and 2/3, gave up 4 runs, 2 hits. Rather 4 hits, 2 runs. Got those numbers backwards. An inning and 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Pitch it down low. He set down the first 5 men he faced, but then with 2 outs and nobody on in the 5th, after striking out Falsetti and Rosario to start the frame, gave up 4 straight hits. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Snead punches out Tanner. We saw Snead in game 2 of the Schaumburg series. That was on Wednesday. Strike out 4 straight batters. He struck out 2 straight here. His 4 came in the 8th inning, the final batter of the 8th, and then struck out the side in the 9th. First pitch to Yomar Veras is a tapper left side, deep in the hole, backhanded by Silver, jump throw to first, and a nice scoop by Zach Komatani over there. A 6-3 play. Great defensive play by both Silver and Komatani for out number 2. Just takes 1 pitch to retire Veras. So Smith, after getting back-to-back out to start the 5th, gave up a single, a double, and 2 more singles. 2 runs. He exited the game with 2 outs in the 5th, entered Will Shearholtz, who got the final out. Snead's first pitch to Falsetti, down low, ball 1. Then following a 1-2-3 inning in the 6th, Shearholtz got the first out of the 7th, so he set down the first 5 he faced. He then walked Shane Brown, gave up a double and a bloop single. A ball low, 2-0. Gave up a bloop single and an RBI to Julio Rodriguez. That tied the game 6-6. 2-0. Called strike at the knees. In came Stephen Fry with men on the corners and 1 out. Fry gave up a ground out to Carcasi, but it was a fielder's choice and a run scored. That run charged to Shearholtz, so he officially goes an inning and 2/3, gives up 2 hits and 2 runs. 1 run while he was in the game, another came across after he exited. 1 walk, 1 strikeout for Shearholtz. He's currently in line for the loss after he was in line for the win. There was swing and a miss, makes it 2-2, 2 outs, bases empty. Snead to Falsetti, lined into the left center field, a base hit. Falsetti will stop at first base. He's now 1 for 4. Shearholtz was in line for the win after the Rascals scored once in the 6th, but he gave up the lead and is now in line for the loss. Still lots of baseball to be played, though. Stephen Fry faced 1 man, got 1 out. Carcasi on a fielder's choice ground out. Rascals couldn't quite turn 2 to escape the inning. They tried to go 5-4-3 around the horn. Instead, it was just a 5-4 fielder's choice. Rosario at the dish takes a pitch inside. So Fry goes 1/3 of an inning, gets 1 out. Gets an out, and the 1 man he faces, but he does allow an inherited run. Most likely to allow an inherited run is there's a man on third with just 1 out. Was hoping for a strikeout or a double play, couldn't quite get it. 1-0 to Rosario, bounced right over to Zach Komatani, who fields it and steps it on first, and all in 1 motion. After Fry, Snead came in, and he sets down 4 of the 5 he faces. He's given up just 1 hit so far. Head to the bottom of the 8th. Rascals trail 7-6. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com.
Hey fans, this is Derek Cape from Columbia, Kentucky.
1
None of them were healed.
against the Frontier League's traveling team. Brent Chobin enters for the Frontier Grays. Chobin, the 4th pitcher of the game for the Grays. The Rascals have used 5.
Video of Elvis singing that in his Vegas show, and it is so.
Chobin got the loss yesterday. He was the one that walked Curran Radall and Brian Hansen and then gave up the 3-run homer to Taylor Ard. Charged with all 3 runs, the Rascals scored in yesterday's game and got the loss. Chobin 0-2 on the year now with a 3.12 ERA. This is his 26th game of the season. He's facing Kelton Caldwell to start the frame, which misses. First pitch misses high. Caldwell is 1 for 2, a walk and a single. Lefty versus lefty. Chobin's pitch. Called strike.
Neil Diamond made his money. Writing songs for other people.
Pitch to
That's where he made his money.
Caldwell's a called strike at the knees.
But at first, Barry Manilow made his money being
Chobin has really struggled against the Rascals in 4 innings. His ERA at 6.75, swing and a miss, strike 3. First strikeout for Caldwell today. Comes Josh Silver. Silver's had a nice showing. A double, a walk, and a run scored.
But, you know, those last 2 songs that Frank Sinatra made #1 for Sinatra.
Lefty versus righty. Pitch to Silver up and in. He moves out of the way.
Oh, Anchor wrote a lot of songs. A lot of them. Oh, yes, he did. So the Bee Gees. Yeah, Bee Gees.
The 0-1. Inside. 2 balls and no strikes. 1 out. Base is empty.
Which you couldn't say Elvis was ever one. Oh, no. He was strictly an entertainer.
Called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike now on Silver as he shakes his head. Already is throwing in the bullpen for the Rascals as Silver slaps a ball into left field, a base hit. Silver's 2nd hit, his 3rd time on. He represents the tying run. Looks like Derek Cape throwing in the pen for the Rascals. Here comes Curran Radall. Radall, 1 for 4. An RBI double and a run scored.
Same zip code I call it strike some night. Saying how the pitches were. I didn't care how the pitches were. If it was close, I told all the guys, told everybody there, if it's close, you better be swinging. Because I'm going to call it.
Mike Falsetti has a quick word with his pitcher. He returns to behind home plate. With 1 out, I don't expect to see Radall squaring, but keep an eye on a hit and run. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Radall picked up his 30th RBI earlier today. Check on Silver. He's back to the bag. Josh Silver just 1 for 2 in stolen base attempts this year. Been one of the least active when it comes to stolen base attempts for the Rascals. A little broken bat pop-up. Second baseman Tierney makes the catch. 2nd out of the inning. Here's Brian Hansen. Hansen 2 for 3. He has 2 RBI singles, a walk, and a run scored. Hansen seemingly getting a hit every time he comes up. That's what happens when you bat over 400. You have to get a hit almost every time you come up, it feels like, to maintain that average. A called strike at the belt. Silver's absolutely crushed left-handed pitching this season with a .552 average. Facing a lefty in Brent Chobin. This pitch comes up and in. He moves out of the way. One and one. Chobin's pitch swung on and missed. So Brian Hansen in a 1-2 hole with 2 outs. Silver at first. Rascals trail 7-6, bottom of the 8th inning. Series finale between the Rascals and the Grays before the Raskies get 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday. It's the first time the Rascals get consecutive days off that were scheduled off, besides the All-Star break in which the Rascals had 4 scheduled off days in a row. The 1-2, down and in. Rascals will play a scheduled doubleheader on Wednesday at the Washington Wild Things, but since the Raskies need to travel all the way to the Pittsburgh area from the St. Louis area, they are given 2 off days by the scheduling gods. The 2-2. Down low, Hansen lays off, and the count evens up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Or rather, count fills up. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Silver will be in motion with 2 outs. An extra base hit could score Silver as he's in motion. The payoff pitch, line foul. Looks like Nick Anderson is throwing in the bullpen for the Frontier Grays. Not sure if that's for this inning or for the 9th. Maybe for both if they need it. The 3-2 once again inside ball 4. Brian Hansen's on for the 4th time. His 2nd walk. Silver to 2nd. And it'll be up to Zach Komatani. But first out comes Vinny Gans. He will go to Nick Anderson out of the pen. Rascals trail 7-6, but they are threatening with 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com.
Hey fans, this is Taylor Ard from Vancouver.
of the game. He's 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Struck out with the bases loaded and 1 out in the 6th inning. He takes a ball 1 from Anderson. Anderson 2-0 this season with an 0.74 ERA. Pitch down low, 2-0. Anderson has been so good this year. 0.74 ERA in 22 games. He has allowed just 2 runs in 24 1/3 innings. One of the best relievers in the Frontier League. He only has 10 saves this season, though, because of the Grays' position as a below-average team. Swing and a miss. Fastball Komatani couldn't catch up to. 2-1. In 24 1/3 innings, he's allowed just 16 hits and 6 walks. He has 30 strikeouts. Anderson, 6'5", 195 pounds, 25 years old, from Brainerd, Minnesota. Here's a line drive down the right field line, but foul. Anderson sharing a birthday with Clay Smith, pitcher the Rascals used earlier today. July 5th. 1 year apart, though. 90 versus 91. Two on with 2 outs and a 2-2 count for Zach Komatani. Silver at second, Hansen at first. Good speed. The pitch, line foul. Zach Komatani has not played since Wednesday's game. He left that game early after leaving Tuesday's game early as well. Enters this game due to injury, or rather what we assume heat exhaustion, to Josh Ludy. The 2-2 once again is swung on and missed, strike 3. Going to the top of the 9th, Rascals trail 7-6. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. The sunlight. Boy, do we need those lights to hurry up, as it is a dark 6 in the top of the 9th inning. Derek Cape enters for the Rascals, looking to keep this at a 1-run game and keep the Raskies in good position for the bottom of the 9th. He has to face the top of the lineup, Shane Brown, Brandon Tierney, and Julio Rodriguez, who have done almost all of the damage against the Rascals today. 6 of the 11 hits from the lineup have come from the top 3 men. 4 runs have been driven in by these guys. Called strike. and 5 of the runs have been scored by them. So they've been pivotal to the success of the Grays. The 0-1 is wide, 1-1. And I guess that's what you'd assume from the top 3 in the lineup. That's what you want. That's why you put those 3 guys up there. Hasn't always been the case for the Rascals, though, who have gotten steady production from 1 through 9 in the lineup. You never know who it's going to be. There's a flare to the right side. Crespo takes it, throws to first, out number 1. Of course, yes, the Rascals have had Curran Radall and Brian Hansen at the top of the lineup, setting the table all season. But it's been everybody that have been knocking them down, driving them in.
Second baseman number 12, Brandon Tierney.
Derek Cape this season leads the Rascals in appearances. This is game number 29. He's 2-2 this year with a 4.5 ERA. In 24 innings, he's allowed 25 hits, 13 runs, 12 of those earned. 28 strikeouts for Cape, 9 walks. Foul ball off the bat of Brandon Tierney. Tierney has had a heck of a game. 3 for 4. All 3 hits are doubles. He's scored twice and driven in a run. The 0-1. Foul ball, 0-2. Past 7 o'clock, now almost 7:15, over 3 hours. Can hear the locusts in the background. The 0-2 pitch. Big breaking ball, misses high from Cape. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out in the inning. Top of the 9th. Rascals trail 7-6. Capes 0-2. Flared into left field. Hansen has a beat on it and makes the catch. That is the 2nd out of the inning. Here comes Julio Rodriguez. First pitch to Rodriguez is a foul ball. Julio Rodriguez with 3 RBIs today. He's collected a run batted in each of his last 3 at-bats. Well, each of his last 3 plate appearances, should I say. His second plate appearance, a RBI sacrifice fly, does not go down as an official at-bat. He has 2 singles that have each scored a run as well. Foul ball. 0-2 on Julio Rodriguez. Cape looking for a 1-2-3 frame. The 0-2 pitch. Nearly hits him up over the head of Rodriguez, who ducks out of the way. Obviously not intentional. Cape. Stirrups and pulled up high. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. He punches out Rodriguez. A quick 1-2. Or rather, I thought that was strike 3. Basically, the entire stadium thought that was strike 3 right now, and nobody knows what the count is. 2-2 now. So Gene Miller next to us says he knows, but he didn't care to tell anybody in the ballpark that wasn't strike 3. Foul pitch. Counts 2-2. Now my handy-dandy eraser needs to come in to do some work here. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Base is empty. This is a pop-up out of play. Well, we can just all, trace the blame back to one person. That'd be intern Emily running the scoreboard. She had the wrong count up there. I blame her. Two balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 down low, so the count runs full. So from what I thought was strike 3 to a full count. Much different circumstances. The payoff pitch is flied out to right field. Moving over, it's Flores getting his first action out there. He makes the catch to end the inning. It is indeed a 1-2-3 inning for Derek Cape. It just comes a little later than we thought. Headed to the bottom of the ninth, last chance for the Rascals. They trail by just one. It's 7-6 the score. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com. Seven to 6, looking to mount a comeback. It only will take one swing to tie this game, 2 to win it. Taylor Ard, a guy very capable of tying it with one swing. He leads off the inning against Nick Anderson, the league leader in home runs and RBIs. Is Ard. He's swinging first pitch, pops it up behind second base. Coming in, it's going to be the center fielder, Varys, making the catch for the first out of the inning. Hector Crespo at the dish. Crespo 0 for 3 with a walk. He's got some pop. He has 3 long balls this season. First pitch. He squares up, pulls back, and takes a ball. The 1-0, called strike. No one throwing in the pen for either team. McBride Anderson with 10 saves this year. There's a nice breaking ball for a called strike, 1-2. Taylor Ard popped out on the first pitch of the inning. After Crespo, it will be Mark Flores. A foul ball, and Crespo stays alive with a 1-2 count. The 1-2 again. Just fouled away. Barely got a piece of it. If either Crespo or Flores can extend the inning, Jackson Slade will hit. Slade in the hole right now. Crespo at the dish, 1 out, bases empty, bottom of the 9th. The 1-2 from Anderson. Line drive down the right field line, a fair ball. Crespo has 1, he's gonna go for 2. Dug out in the corner by Hoft, his throw not in time. It's a 1 out double for Hector Crespo. He represents the tying run with 1 out. He's at second base. And here comes Mark Flores. Flores with a single and a double today. A couple of RBIs already. Rascals just need a hit to tie this game. 1 out in the 9th, down 7-6. Crespo has great speed at second. It'd be hard to prevent him from scoring on a single.
Hey Al, we're gonna go run the beat. Just text me if you want to come over.
First pitch to Flores. Swing and a miss. Looked like the backswing of Mark Flores may have caught the catcher, Mike Falsetti, so he'll walk around a bit. Tom Brahan, the home plate umpire, will give him a moment to try to recoup. You think Hector Crespo is aggressive on the base paths usually? Let's see what he looks like over at second base as the tying run in the bottom of the 9th. A guy who's always dancing around, jumping off the bag. Not doing anything too crazy out there right now. Long look back by Anderson. Pitch to Flores. Strike at the knees. 0-2. Flores did strike out swinging in the 7th inning. Oh, and 2. Anderson comes set. Big strikeout pitcher. Righty versus lefty. Ground ball right side. It is stopped by Carcasi. Underhand flip to first. No, he's safe. Flores is safe at home plate. They're going to say that the pitcher, Anderson, was off the bag. Men at the corners with 1 out, and out comes Vinny Gans to argue with field umpire John Hastings. Nice range shown off by Carcasi, aided by the fact he's a lefty so he could reach deep in the hole with the mitt on his right hand. Got to it. Flipped to Anderson, sprinting over the covering pitcher. He beat Flores there, but Hastings says he's off the bag. Hastings and Brahan meeting. Brahan, the home plate umpire, discussing it. See if Brahan maybe had a different angle. They're going to call him out now, so now Steve Brooks going to come out. Well, Brook is already at third base, but he's going to come over. So now Flores is ruled out. Crespo does go to third, but there's 2 outs for Jackson Slade.
I didn't know they were allowed to do that.
Tough break for the Rascals. Initially called safe before they overturn it. So Brook will ask what the umpire saw and why it was overturned. He probably won't like the answer no matter what the umps say, but he'll have to swallow whatever the ruling is. He doesn't have a say in what the decision is. Of course, in the Frontier League, no replay.
At one time. Once the call was made, you can talk to your partner.
Jackson Slade will be due up with 2 outs. Bottom of the 9th. Hector Crespo 90 feet away. He represents the tying run in a 7-6 game. Slade is 1 for 4. He does have a double and a run scored.
What did this asshole get out there and talk to him about that made him change his mind? That's why Major League Baseball has instant replay. Because they weren't allowed to change the call.
Typical TRU's ballpark fans complaining about the umpires. Nothing new here. Jackson Slade up with 2 outs. Righty versus righty. Anderson versus Slade. First pitch. Foul ball to the right side. That'll reach the stands. 0-1 on Slade. Slade with 19 RBIs this season, 5 home runs. He has 9 doubles. Ground ball, right side. Carcasi takes it. He's going to flip to Anderson, who steps on the bag. Game over. 7-6 is the final. Winning pitcher is Nick McBride. Loss goes to Will Shearholtz. Save to Nick Anderson. We're going to go to a commercial. We'll come back and recap this game. You're listening to River City Rascals Baseball on TalkSTL.com.
Hey, this is Danny Canal from Miami. Don't go away. There's plenty more Rascals Baseball right after this.
RT Weiler's Food and Spirits is a family-owned restaurant and bar with great homemade food that is the most unique atmosphere in the St. Louis area. Located in beautiful historic downtown St. Charles, RT's has everything from Dad's Barbecue and Mom's Fried Chicken to hand-cut steaks and homemade desserts. You'll find something for everyone from 2 to 102. RT Weiler's boasts 20 drafts and over 105 bottles, 15 TVs, and is also kid-friendly. The goal is to make you feel at home